off. Microphone's on.
True.
Everybody ready? Call to order the meeting of the Greenwood Common Council on Monday, January the 6th. If you would please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. After the pledge, remain standing. We led in prayer this evening by Reverend David Mark Owens, the lead chaplain at Otterbein Senior Life Franklin Community. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. God of all, on this Christian holiday of Epiphany, we recall that wise men journeyed, followed a star, and journeyed to see something miraculous, and then they left that place in new hearts and excited. Lord, on this initial meeting of this year, we ask your blessings. Let us unify as wise men and wise women, seeking a higher goal, something important, great things, treading with constant step and seeking what's ahead of us. Let us enter into this meeting with expecting miraculous things. And then let us leave here excited by the possibilities, blessed by the interactions, and just looking forward to the next day. Be with our council, both those who've been here before and those new councilors. Be with our mayor, our city, and remind us of your presence tonight on this Epiphany holiday. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call.
Bates,
Present.
Campbell,
Here.
Dine,
Here.
Gibson, here. Hill,
Here.
Hopper,
Here.
Lexi,
Here.
Pendleton,
Here.
and Williams.
Here. We do have a quorum, and welcome to the two newest members, Mr. Williams, Mr. Pendleton. All of you should have received copies of the minutes from our regular meeting of December the 2nd. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Mr. Lexi. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, roll call on the minutes of December 2nd.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Dine,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Hopper,
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Pendleton,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Minutes are approved and voted 9-0. Should have also received copies of the minutes from our regular meeting on December the 16th. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Mr. Dine. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, roll call on the minutes of December 16th regular meeting.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Dine,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Hopper,
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Pendleton,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved and voted 9-0. And thirdly, you also should have received copies of the special meeting held on December the 16th. Do I have a motion?
I so moved.
Was Mr. Bates, second by Mr. Lexi. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, roll call on the minutes, on the special meeting minutes of December 16th.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Dine,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Hopper,
Aye.
Lexi,
Aye.
Pendleton,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Those minutes are also approved and voted 9-0. Reports, Corporation Council.
You all should have received the semi-monthly report to item and also the litigation report on the SharePoint. If you have questions about either of those, please see me.
All right. Anything from the controllers?
Nothing.
Any other committee or board reports? Probably none of them met since we were together last. All right. This time we have a swearing-in ceremony, so we'll turn it over to the mayor and the chief of police.
Thank you, Mr. President, councilors. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, the family members of Joseph, for coming today. One of the things I like to share with each and every person here is Joe's just not coming to the Greenwood Police Department. He is now a member of the city of Greenwood and a member of our family. All of you are a part of the family. We want to take care of our officers. We want to deliver them back home to you safer every night than they came in every morning. We have some of the best training in the state, some of the best equipment possible, and we're here for all of you. If at any time you're ever concerned, you ever have any questions, whatever, feel free to pick up that phone and call, ask for the chief, ask for the training officer. Happy to answer any questions. We want to help get through this because it's not always an easy transition becoming from citizens' life into the law enforcement life. But we're excited about that opportunity, and I'm really excited at the fact that you've got so many family members here with you. So just, if you come up front, please. Which way you want me? That's what I thought.
There we go.
You gotta do it right on the camera. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joseph Shawnee,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Indiana,
of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as an officer of the Greenwood Police Department
as an officer of the Greenwood Police Department
best of my skill and ability,
to the best of my skill and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. At this time, we set aside an opportunity for members of the audience to address the council concerning items that are on the agenda. So if you'd like to give some information to the council concerning items on the agenda, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and there is a 5-minute time limit. Oh, I thought they were all getting up to come up and talk. Bye. All right, anyone from the audience wishing to address the council at this time? Seeing none, moving on, ordinances and resolutions. Second reading, ordinance 1945.
An ordinance amending Greenwood Municipal Code 1993, Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-72, Family and Medical Leave, sponsored by Gibson.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gibson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hopper. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, roll call, ordinance 1945, second reading.
Bates.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Dine.
Aye.
Gibson. Aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hopper.
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
Billington.
Aye.
Excuse me, and Williams.
Aye.
Ordinance 1945 passes second reading 9-0. New business, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 2001.
An ordinance to reestablish a Greenwood Cumulative Capital Development Fund pursuant to Indiana Code Section 36915.5, sponsored by Gibson.
Hello. This one is related to our QCAP development rate. Every year we do come to the council to ask to reestablish it. The way this particular fund type works, as our assessed value changes, the state recalculates that rate, so it starts to trickle down every year. Rather than let that happen, we reestablish the maximum every year to keep it at that 5 cents so that we can utilize it for everything that we need.
All right, any questions for Mr. Wright? All right, thank you. Ordinance 2002.
An ordinance providing for additional appropriations from the Clerk's Record Perpetuation Fund to budget classification 111, $31,871.28 in the city court budget. The Cumulative Capital Development Fund to budget classification 442, $566,802. And the Cumulative Capital Improvement Tax Levy Fund to budget classification 442, $389,308, sponsored by Hopper.
Mr. Wright.
Okay, so the first one on here for the clerk's record perpetuation, the court is doing a system changeover on the record keeping system. These funds would be used to fund the salaries and overtime to get that done for the most part. And then the CCD and CCI tax levy, those two appropriations are related to the road that's going in over at the Clark Pleasant Middle School / our Worsville Road Park area. This council last year agreed to the interlocal agreement with the middle school and Harvest Baptist Bible, to where we would pay for part of that road, and then the road would get dedicated to the city, and then we would also have use of their parking area for that park. These funds are to be reimbursed by the RDC. They've actually passed a resolution at the end of last year that they would reimburse the city for these funds. So this is getting them appropriated so that we can pay for our portion of that commitment.
All right, any questions for Mr. Wright? All right, seeing none, moving on to ordinance 2003.
An ordinance amending Greenwood Municipal Code 1993, Chapter 6, Article 9, Section 6309 to increase the user fee for trash collection and curbside recycling services, sponsored by Campbell.
You again?
Me again. Okay, so as you know, probably mid-2018, we renegotiated our contract we entered into a new contract with Best Way Disposal for trash service. Generally, the way our trash services work is that the rate is set at whatever Best Way charges us plus $5.50 per month per home, which that then funds the leaf and limb pickup, the staffing for the waste management people, the trucks. And so when we did this year's budget, what we found is that we do have a bit of a structural deficit in their budget that needs to be made up, or it will deplete their cash reserve over the next several years, approximately $180,000 a year. So what we are proposing is to increase over the next 4 cycles of the contract increase by a quarter, so to $1 total additional going towards the waste management fund to take care of both the people and then also the capital costs. So this is the tub grinders, the leaf trucks, the gravel trucks. We do have a lease of one of the gravel trucks rolling off. We have a brand new one that just came in this week, in fact, I believe. So right now, our estimate based on the number of customers that we have is that at the end of that 4-step increase, we would generate an additional $200,000 annually, which would cover that structural deficit. We know we have a couple of things rolling off for the debt, but there are some more capital needs that are coming down the pipe that we need to plan for as well. So right now, the rate is $14.97 per month per home. So the rate for our Best Way contract is set for the next 5 years per the contract. So these are the increases that we'll need to absorb from Best Way, and then these rates proposed here include the additional quarter per year over the next 4 cycles so that we can get to that $1 overall increase.
All right, any questions for Mr. Wright?
Was there any consideration given to senior citizens? I know we've got several and they keep increasing throughout our city. So that's a question,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we can provide a separate rate. I think that legally there's probably a potential to set up some sort of a fund to assist with the cost of rates, but we couldn't set a separate rate by any class of citizen.
The information you've got on the screen, can you email that to each of us?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, it is?
Yeah, I'll have it.
Never mind.
Okay. So one thing I did want to do was go through a couple of the comments that the city has received recently on our leaf and limb guys. We get quite a few compliments on the service that they give to the citizens. A lot of people that they have helped even haul things to the truck when they weren't able to get all the limbs or the leaves out to the curb. So we did get quite a few compliments on those guys. And then also on the service from Bestway, we get a lot of feedback from citizens, particularly the utility billing office. Gets a lot of feedback on that as well, and the service that Bestway's provided to the citizens.
What kind of feedback have we gotten from Best Way when we instituted a year or so ago, you know, the 90-gallon waste?
So those, I know there was a lot of unhappiness with those, but when we did the contract, it was pretty much, we didn't have a choice. Everybody of the three that bid on the contracts said that you have to go to these type of trash drums to be picked up, but the other two were not willing to provide them. We had to charge the citizens or pay out of pocket from the city for that. Bestway actually provided them as part of their contract to all of the citizens.
And in the long run, was that supposed to also reduce?
Yeah, it keeps
costs?
the cost down because they have to have fewer people on the truck, so because they can do them automatically, they don't have to have as much staff. So it keeps their costs down, which then keeps what passes through to us.
So even if that's the case, we still need to.
Right, that
increase
contract
our
was
rate
set
of
over
fees.
5 years, but that piece doesn't actually affect our guys that the city employs that are doing the leaf and limb and all of the other functions of the waste management guys day to day. So the Best Way people are doing pickup of those 96 gallon, but our guys are still doing all the rest of it.
And how long is that contract?
It's a 5-year contract, so I can go back to the first page here and show you.
So
So the
2023.
first year of that contract went into effect November of 2019, and then there's the slight increases from year to year beyond that.
And again, I've changed my mind again. If you would send that to at least me, I would appreciate it.
I would like to.
Yeah. I know that same information's in the ordinance, but I like the concise nature of that, so,
I'll send it out to everybody just for
yeah.
ease.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Wright? All right, thank you very much. All right, that brings us to miscellaneous business, and again, this is an opportunity for people in the audience to address the council, this time concerning items that are not on the agenda. So if you would like to address the council, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and there's a 5-minute timer. All right, seeing none, moving on. Council, at this time, I emailed all of you, told you that we've talked for several meetings now that we have several appointments to make, and I sent you an email giving you the order in which we would do those, and so we will do them in the following order. We'll elect council officers, president and vice president, make the plan commission appointment, the social appointment, solid waste district management board, Greenwood Community Development Corporation, the Greenwood Library, Board of Zoning Appeals, and Redevelopment Commission. So at this time, then we'll open it up for nominations for council president.
Well, these meetings are gonna be fun.
I'll nominate Mike Campbell.
Okay, we have one nomination. Any other nominations?
Mr. President, do we need seconds or just a nomination?
Just a nomination, I think. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other nominations? Seeing none, then we'll close the nominations for council president. All in favor of Mike Campbell as council president, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. I do appreciate it. It's been an honor to serve as the president and continue to do so as an additional honor. Thank you. This time we'll set nominations for council vice president.
Mr. President, I nominate Ron Bates.
Ron Bates is nominated. Any other nominations?
Mr. President, Linda Gibson.
Linda Gibson is nominated. Any other nominations?
I'm gonna nominate Robbie Williams. I mean, Mike.
All right,
The UK pop star or
we have,
different Robbie Williams?
we have Mr. Mike Williams has been nominated as council vice president. Any additional nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed. It'll require at least 5 votes. And typically what we do is we just go down to roll call and you give the name of the person you are voting for. So at this time, roll call and nominations, it's Ron Bates, Linda Gibson, and Mike Williams.
Campbell,
Ron Bates,
Stein,
Gibson.
Gibson, Hill,
Mike.
Williams.
Hopper,
Ms. Gibson.
Lexi,
Ron Bates.
Pendleton,
Mike Williams.
Williams,
Williams.
and Bates.
Bates.
All right, we have each nominee received 3 votes. Typically, we would drop the lowest, but since we don't have a lowest, then we will do this one more time. Roll call on the nominees for vice president: Ron Bates, Linda Gibson, or Mike Williams.
Stein,
Gibson.
Gibson,
Gibson.
Hill,
I'm gonna go Linda Gibson this time.
Hopper,
Ms. Gibson.
Lexi,
Ron Bates.
Pendleton,
Gibson.
Williams,
Gibson.
Bates,
Bates.
and Campbell.
Bates. Linda got 6 votes, Ron got 3, so Linda Gibson is the vice president for 2020.
Thank you.
Plan Commission is a 1-year appointment. The current appointee is Bob Dine. He has expressed an interest in continuing on there, and the Plan Commission appointee has to be a council member. So, accepting nominations at this time.
I would like to nominate Bob Dine.
All right, Linda nominates Bob Dine. Any other nominations? Seeing none, move nominations be closed. All in favor of Bob Dine, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you.
The social, current appointee, it's a 1-year appointee, and Linda is a current appointee. Do I have nomination for the social board?
Linda Gibson.
Linda Gibson's been nominated. Any additional nominations? Seeing none, I move nominations be closed. All in favor of Linda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations, Linda.
Thank you.
The Johnson County Solid Waste District Management Board has the longest title of all the ones we have. It's a 1-year appointee, and the Drew Foster, one of our former council members, was the appointee. So we need someone new, and this does need to be a council person. Accept nominations.
I'll nominate Mr. Lexi. Sorry.
All right. Dave Lexi has been nominated. Any other nominations? Seeing none, move nominations be closed. All in favor of Mr. Lexi being the nominee to the Waste Management Board, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Lexi. The Greenwood Community Development Corporation, the GCDC, is a 1-year appointment. Our current appointee is Paul St. Pierre. It is my understanding that he is willing to fill that position again. However, I have not received confirmation of that, but I know he does a good job, so I will accept nominees for the GCDC.
I would nominate Mr. St. Pierre.
All right, any additional nominations? Seeing that nominations are closed, all in favor of Mr. Paul St. Pierre, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The Greenwood Library is a 4-year appointment, and the current appointee is Joshua Jackson. Are you here tonight? you just don't mind standing. I think we've talked to you before, but Mr. Jackson has done a good job according to the library, and they're very happy with him. And he sent us a letter expressing an interest in continuing, so I would recommend that. But I'll take a nominations for Greenwood Library Board.
I nominate him.
Mr. Bates nominates Mr. Jackson. Any additional nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed. All in favor of Mr. Jackson, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Appreciate your service. The Board of Zoning Appeals is a 4-year appointment. The current appointee is Lucy Bartley. So I will open up now for nominations of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do I have any nominations?
Nominate Drew Foster.
We have a nomination, Mr. Drew Foster. Any additional nominations?
Mr. President, is that one that it has to be a certain party, or?
We only
is
have
that
one,
open?
so I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's come up before, but I don't think so.
It has to be a citizen who is not a member of the planning commission.
Yeah. All right, any additional nominations? See none. Our nominations are closed. All in favor of Mr. Foster, say aye. Aye. All opposed? And then Redevelopment Commission, that's 2 appointees, 1-year appointments. The current appointees are Mike Campbell and David Hopper. And I believe I can speak for Mr. Hopper. I've been on the RDC for several years, and again, consider it an honor, and I know Mr. Hopper does as well. And I know that if it would be your pleasure, we would both like to continue to serve on the RDC. So,
Nominate Mr. Campbell.
I've been nominated. Any additional
I'll
nominations?
nominate Mr. Hopper.
So Mr. Hopper's been nominated. Anyone else?
Screwed up my name, Dave.
Mr. Hooper.
There you go.
Mr. Hooper. All right.
Yes.
All right. Any other nominations? Seeing none, the nominations are closed. All in favor of Mr. Campbell, Mr. Hopper being the RDC appointees, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And thank you. Takes care of all of those. Any additional miscellaneous business from the council? Happy New Year. All right. Seeing none, other miscellaneous business, Corporation Council,
You have none?
Controller,
None.
Mayor.
I have nothing.
We are adjourned. Thank you.